Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and I got a review for you today. Today we're going to be talking about from Opus Comics, Eternal Descent, issue number 3. It is written by Michael Moreci, art by Marco Lorenzana, colors by Oscar Carreño, and letters by Jacob Bascle. And we got the cover by Kevin West. I'm sorry if I mispronounced any of those names. It's no form of disrespect, just how I'm reading it, trying to pronounce it. But before we get started on this review right here, please like, comment, subscribe on my channel. Hit the like right down below. Hit the bell if you are interested in more of these reviews. Or maybe click the playlist button and check out all the different reviews I've done for the past 2 years. I got a ton. You never know what you're going to find. So, we are talking about Eternal Descent. It is a 3-issue mini-series from Opus Comics. And this is the last issue. To catch you up on it, it's kind of just about a magical guitar that this girl ends up finding, kind of. It's like a power struggle between Thor and Loki, two brothers, not Marvel's Thor and Loki, but Norse mythology. But basically it's like the two brothers and they're fighting over this guitar. Somehow it ends up in Lyra's possession, and that's kind of where we're at the moment. She went to this kind of like, she was portal to, like, I want to say it was kind of like the afterlife or something like that. It wasn't hell, but that's where she ran into Loki right after he killed Thor. She did happen to get the guitar, and then after that it was kind of like a quick, use of the guitar to get rid of Loki, and then that's kind of where we are here. Like I said, we're only at the 3rd issue, so there's not a super amount of story, but that doesn't mean the story hasn't been good. I've enjoyed it the whole way through, but we're just catching up with Lyra, and I want to say on this first page it has one of the realest things that I've read in a long time, and I'll read it to you real quick. And she's talking about, like, well, I'll just read it, but she's like, I felt like a god because I felt like the person I was supposed to be, up there on stage playing music. I'd made it. I felt like me, and that's not a thing I take for granted. She basically goes on this conversation about, like, not knowing her place in life, and I know that resonates with me, maybe a whole lot of other people in this world, not knowing what you're truly meant on the planet to be. I do believe in fate, karma, magic, all kind of stuff. Why not? But I've always asked myself the question, like, who am I really supposed to be? What am I really supposed to be doing if I do believe in fate and stuff like that? I've never truly believed that I've found my calling. I think I've gotten close, but never, I don't believe I found it. And I think that's just a lot of us. I think we stumble through life, and some of us never do find it, and some of us are lucky enough to, either happenstance upon it, or they work at it and they achieve it, kind of thing. But she's talking about when she was a musician, how she felt, and eventually, like, she thought that was going to be her whole life, and one day it wasn't. She just got tired of music, and it's kind of funny that it's this guy, like, calling out, like, hey, sing Freebird, just a random thing that I'm pretty sure musicians get tired of. Hey, play somebody else's music, not your music. After that, we come up to, like, present day, because this has all been, like, of course, a flashback. It's, well, not really a flashback. It's just been her summing up, like, her musical career and how she ended up, like, where we started out the book. Of course, she's with, like, her friend Albert. We saw him save her at the end of the, like, he didn't really save her, but kind of like she was collapsing, and he grabbed her and then, took care of her. This is her dad's friend, and happens to be her friend too. It's a bartender that works at one of the places where they jam out. There's a conversation about the guitar, about it being evil, and she needs to take it back to where it was made, and they call it the Deep Dark. But Albert kind of mentions that he knew about the guitar since he knew her dad, and we get a whole, like, kind of flashback story about that, and about how his dad, like, how he was with the guitar, and then we actually get the story that Albert was told on how he got the guitar. And it's basically like the sum up of the story. It's it's just a tool. It's not the guitar that's evil. It's the person or whoever finds it that makes it evil, kind of thing. Like a lot of other things in this world, right? Like guns. But basically, he says that, his dad did great things with the guitar. He didn't have an ounce of evil inside him, and that's kind of what kept him on that path. They do go into, like I said, how he found the guitar, and it was just he was in the middle of nowhere, going nowhere, and he randomly ran into this guy, and all he had on him was the guitar, and he ended up giving the dad the guitar. And he explained that he won it by besting the devil in a game, and it like cursed his soul by having the guitar, and gifting the guitar to his dad. It actually like not it doesn't say it gave him his soul back, but it says it like like eased his pain or something like that. Maybe he was able to finally die. Who knows? They don't go into all that, but they do show that eventually, like, her dad did make beautiful music with the guitar. He did great things with it, but eventually Thor and Loki showed up fighting over the guitar, and eventually, like, her dad actually followed Thor. Thor being the good one, and he found out that, and kind of end up talking to Thor after they end up talking about, the guitar and stuff like that. Thor eventually convinced her dad, Lyra's dad, to, magically bury the guitar, and the only one that could, possess the guitar had to be someone of his blood lineage. Thus, that's how Lyra got the guitar. And that catches us up to present day. So basically, at this point, it's like Lyra, like she mentioned before, she wants to take it to the deep dark. She kind of knows how to get there, but needs Albert's help. They do make it to the spot, and supposedly they're supposed to do the spell and stuff. She lights a match, and then instantly the guitar lights up. It does create a portal. They think it's going to be like quick and easy, like they're just going to pop in, give back the guitar, and that's it, because their thinking is, since it came from the deep dark, they can just leave it there since it was made there, and everything will be fine. We do see that Loki, he's hiding around waiting for this moment, and he does mention that it's not going to be so easy. Upon getting to Hell, Albert's not so happy, but Lyra is like freaking, she's like, oh, this is metal, this is, she's like, oh, this sucks, but this is metal, probably like how I'd be if I got teleported to any other realm, I'd be like, oh, this is weird, but hey, this is freaking cool. Instantly, they are welcomed by hospital, demons. Not really hospital, they're trying to kill him instantly. And like Lyra's like, look, I just want to get back this guitar. The demon's like, die. She's like, wait, I just want to get back the guitar. And the demon's like, now you die harder. Eventually, she does have to fight off the demons using the guitar, and they show you the power right here. It's like, pa-dow! They even show you that Albert's guitar is like, it has not the same power, but a similar power. They're able to wield off the demons with music. But eventually, they enough of the demons get massacred by the music, and they call upon the Lord of the Deep, this big giant demon. He basically is like, hey, who are you? You're trespassing. You're not supposed to be here. Lyra does explain that she wants to give the guitar back, and the demon is kind of taken back by this. He's actually like, I do sense a presence. He was like, it was not made here, and it doesn't belong here. He was like, but this thing shouldn't be in human hands, kind of thing. As soon as this happens, like, Loki shows up and he's like, ha! She did it, friends! She got the Lord, where we need him! And like, she ends up doing this whole plan that makes Lyra look like the bad guy with this Lord, deep demon guy. And basically, like, it's this all out, like, thing where the Lord's trying to kill, like, everything, and he's trying to kill Lyra, and Loki's there and he's trying to kill, of course, Loki goes straight for Lyra, and Lyra, is, at this point, has had enough of Loki, and she goes full, like, I guess, demon, or they call her succubus, but I don't know, they mention a couple different things, but yeah, she looks like a succubus. But Albert kind of mentions that if she stays in that mode or whatever, that she won't be able to get out of it, kind of thing. And she's like, screw that, we're doing this, I'm staying in this mode to defeat Loki, and thus battle ensues. As the battle ensues and she turns into this full demon, there is a moment where the Lord Deep kind of like, could it be? And it's a small passing moment, but basically during the battle, Lyra whoops the pants off of Loki. He doesn't even get a single lick in. She gets several different licks in by just beating him with the guitar to the point where he's actually bloodied. And But eventually she does mention that she had not used the full power of the guitar, that she had just been strumming it. Not only that, but she hadn't been using her full power. And she does so, unleashing it upon Loki, and that's the end of him in this realm as we know it. It's not the end of Loki, but, you know, of course can't die kind of thing. But he does get, like, blasted, teleported away. As this has happened, the Lord Demon is calling out to Lyra, and he's like, hey, 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 you know, and he's like, he was like, yes, I do now realize that Loki was the bad guy, and you know, and I can trust you, but I can't honor you on the, you know, taking the guitar, which he was going to take the guitar before the whole thing broke out. And basically it turns out that like, that Lyra is his true master, that it was always destined for her, and that's the reason he can't take it from her kind of thing, is because she's supposed to wield it. It was designed for, like, her father, and you know, the people that it has come into contact with kind of thing. It's fate. The book jumps over after that, and we are caught, you know, catching up with what happened to Loki after he was teleported, probably like Niflheim or something like that. But he's basically like about to kill Thor again, which we've seen a couple times already in this book. And he's basically telling Thor, yeah, you know, we're going to have to get ready, and Thor just mentions, yeah, we're both going to be ready kind of thing. The book, like, I guess, flash forwards, you know, a little bit. We catch up with Lyra and her roommate in their, you know, cozy apartment or whatever after this has all been said and done. And Lyra is basically, like, the whole 3-issue miniseries has been Lyra, you know, telling this story to her roommate. Her roommate is not so, like, you know, believey, but she kind of says that she loves Lyra, and, you know, regardless, she still believes her kind of thing, even though it seems, you know, made up and all this other kind of stuff. Because she kind of makes jokes about, you know, beating devils with Elvis, and maybe Jimmy Page helped her escape kind of thing. Basically, at the very end, Lyra mentions that, you know, that Thor and Loki will be back for the guitar, and the Great Demon mentioned that there will be other things coming after the guitar. And the book leaves off with Lyra just saying in her succubus mode that she will be ready. You know, I don't know. But that is this book. Now, it is titled as a 3-issue miniseries, but the way, and not even just the last page, but I want to say a good 10% of the last part of the book, they are like hinting at like more volumes to come. The way this is built up, I totally feel like it can continue on, and it's such a dope concept, a superhero or, you know, type entity that uses a, you know, musical weapon as, you know, I can dig that. I mean, how many, you know, we don't really have that, right? So I'm kind of, you know, I'm more interested to see who else would come after the guitar kind of thing. I mean, Thor and Loki was cool. Maybe in like 3rd volume or 4th volume. Michael, if you're listening, you know, 3rd or 4th volume. Don't bring back Thor and Loki so soon. You know, maybe Odin comes forward, or maybe like, you know, I don't know, maybe what's the rock devil's name? I think his name is Joe. I think that's Satan, the rocker Satan. Oh no, it's Lou. It's Lou. How did I forget that? Maybe Lou will show up to try and get the guitar. Okay, that is my long review on this book. It was such a great series. I mean, in a 3-issue series to give us a, you know, complete, well, it could be complete story. It's been fantastic. The art is probably the, you know, one of the standouts of the book, but the colors and everything, it just pops, and it's not just on the cover, it's all the way through. I will say that there was a cover that if I would have saw that, I would have grabbed that, the action figure variant of Eternal Descent. I kind of like that. And the detail that they put on Lyra is pretty dope. But hey, that's my review. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. You know, comment down below. Let me know if you read this series. What did you think about it? You know, are you planning to pick it up after you saw this review? Let me know. That does help this guy, and it helps some other people in the world, like maybe the writer or the artist or the, you know, because sometimes they watch this stuff too. And I know my guy Michael, he does watch my stuff. So, yeah. All right, guys. Bye.